Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. My name is MiAhtheking, and when I see the names of lovers engraved on a tree, I don't find it cute or romantic. I find it weird how many people take knives with them on dates. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called Forever Winter, a post-apocalyptic survival-level roguelike based game that can be played with friends or even strangers. Developed and published by Fundog Studios, released in early access, and selling for $30. So, what is this game really? Well, it's I guess the best way to explain it is basically it's a looter shooter and giving it elements of a roguelike game along with an extraction-based game, and you get the gist of what this game is. It's an extraction game. We've played hundreds of these. We've seen hundreds of these. Basically, if you go in somewhere and you've got a bunch of gear on you and you die, you lose it all, but everything you grab when you're out of your safe space, you get to take back with you, and it makes you bigger, better, and stronger, alright? Some kind of big war happened in this game, and it's apparently still happening. It destroyed the world and continues to destroy the world, and you're part of a small group of scavengers, and basically your job is to just go out into the destroyed, war-torn battlefields and scavenge whatever the hell you can without dying from any of the factions fighting or the zombies hanging about, because I guess every post-apocalyptic game just has to have zombies nowadays, which I think was incredibly unnecessary and dumb to have zombies or whatever these things are, these zombie-like creatures here. But whatever, let's dive deeper into this sucker, starting off with the good. So, the first positive point that I'd like to talk about this game is the sound design. The music is hopeless and depressing, which is freaking perfect for a game of this tone. It fits phenomenally, and it's not obnoxious either. The sound effects, well, they're hit or miss. Sometimes things sound really good, and other times they don't. And then you've got the voice acting. Not a lot of it, but from what I had heard, it sounded decent enough to not be counted as a negative, so take that as you will. But overall, generally, I think the sound design was pretty on point. Next up for the positives is the idea of this game. The idea of this is just really cool to me. I love the idea of extraction looter shooter games, but the biggest issue I have with them is when you make players fight each other, right? But here, the enemy is the dangerous zones and the enemy AI that are fighting each other. Honestly, it's really cool to stroll about a battlefield and watch them kill each other, and you just have to either pick off the survivors and then steal from everyone, or just let them pass by and then steal from the bodies they left behind. You need to gather water, which is used to maintain your base, and we'll go into that later, but basically you just want to scavenge as much loot as you can and get back home safely. But if you die, you lose everything you took up with you. Up to 4 people can be in a squad together, and I feel like this idea is just really original and interesting. Plus, due to the nature of this particular idea, it's bound to give you dozens of hours of gameplay time as well as replayability. Next is the gameplay. Now, the gameplay actually isn't the worst. It's probably the least negative thing I have to talk about, but still. Basically, you have this hub, and in this hub you have quest givers, character customizers, and leveling up mechanics. You have different upgrades you can build in your hub, which provide newer benefits and stuff. I really liked the hub. As for the gameplay, when you're scavenging, basically you'll see these factions fighting each other out there, and you and your group need to just sneak around and accomplish some big objective whilst also scavenging for whatever you want. So, of course, you can grow or get bigger and stronger and, have spares in case you die or something. You fight the enemies while you're out there, or you can just conserve your ammo and med kits and just sneak about and try to survive while you're looting. The overall idea of the gameplay and the overall way that it melds together and it works for the player, it's actually not bad. It's a little rusty. It needs a little bit of work, but for the most part, I get the gist of it, and I think the concept of the gameplay here is really spot on. And last but not least is the price tag. I feel that when you consider everything that's here, length, replayability, voice acting, game size, and effort, plus the overall scope of things, and I just feel like $30 is a pretty decent price. I think when this game is fully finished, it should be worth, $40, maybe $45, so honestly, to me, that $30 price tag is pretty perfect for an early access game. But, unfortunately, those are the only positives that I have for this game. So, next we're going to go into the negatives, and I highly encourage you to keep watching because you never know what might destroy this game or save this game, and that could be next, alright? Alright. Also, if you happen to find this video entertaining or at least informative, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. I mean, after all, you never know what I might review next, and it could be just the thing you've been looking for. Now then, on to the negatives, and the first one I absolutely have to bring attention to is the stability. This game is broken to high heaven. I couldn't find a single function, a single aspect or viewpoint in which this game was not broken in some way, shape, or form. Brutally honest opinion, but this game should not have been released. It's incredibly frustrating. Let's start with the most glaring issue. The whole point of this game being able to play online with other people. And at time of recording, you just can't. I could not. I tried several dozen times to join random people, and I tried several times to just do quick play and get in with whoever I could, and every single time I got some error message or another, or I just waited forever for the loading screen like I've made you do since I've been talking. And see, this is just an example of the error messages that I keep receiving over and over again. Want to know how bad it is? The entirety of me writing this script, like the whole time I was writing this script, I was waiting for a squad. I was searching for a squad to get going in. It took me 20 to 30 minutes to write this script. So I waited that amount of time and still could not get into a game. I just couldn't play with anybody. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, let's look at some of the other issues. The frame rate droppings galore, the game freezing incessantly, textures just not loading in right, loading screens freezing, and loading screens everywhere taking up way too much time, my character getting stuck on tiny pieces of metal, my gun not hitting enemies right in front of me despite my gun aimed right at them. Hell, even after I went in and fixed my damn resolution, some of the freaking UI is still cut off the side of my screen. And no matter which setting I used, this shit over here was always cut off. I have no idea what they even are because I was never able to figure it out because I was never able to get it fixed. So this game is severely broken, and in this particular state, it's completely unacceptable. I do not care if it's in early access. This many breakage, this lack of stability, this ridiculousness is just some bullshit. Next up for the negatives is the graphics. Now, at first I hated it. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is how I jumped in the game. This was the first frame of me in the gameplay. Can you see my character? Because I can't. And it doesn't get much better. For the first half hour of play, I was stuck in this area with just a red mist, a red sheen over everything, and it looked ugly. There's like a fog, a haze of blurriness everywhere, and it just made the game look just ugly to look at with very little decent color combinations, awful shading and lighting, and it was just blah. Now, it does get a little bit better depending on the environment and if the color happens to change for whatever reason that it changed, but even then, it still looks a bit off and it's quite noticeable. I like the idea of what they were going for here in terms of graphics, but it just needs some serious cleaning up and fine-tuning. Next up for the negatives is the user interface. It is awful. Let's talk about the mechanics as well while we're at it. The user interface isn't organized very well. It doesn't have proper key bindings, which half the time, if you use the right key bindings according to them, they don't even work. There's a lag whenever you hit escape, which is supposed to open up your menu and close your menu. I don't know why that's there. Things that you would think make sense, you can't do, and things that definitely don't make sense to you do work, and it's ugly, the UI that is. As for the mechanics, well, number one, your guy almost always looks like he's crouched when he's not, and he's always moving incredibly slowly, which is ridiculous and frustrating. Number two, every time you aim, the game goes into first-person mode, which is disorienting and annoying and causes more frame rate dropping. Number three, when you tell your character to heal themselves, your screen starts to wobble for some insane reason. Number four, the game has a constant online clock that's ticking, and if you don't have enough water, then I guess your base suffers or something, so make sure you log in to play every single damn day, or else it's going to screw you over. So no taking a week of break from this game. Number five, sneaking doesn't really do anything. They're still going to find you. I tested it twice. Number six, enemies can just walk up on you without you having any idea because they make no sound as they approach. They give no indication that they see you at all until they're standing right on top of you. It was actually funny. I was playing. You might even see it in this video, and I was just looking around for them, and next thing you know, boom, they're right on top of me. Still, they didn't even detect me. They didn't even detect me until I started running away. Number seven, when you're in a game, there's no way to navigate and find your way around other than your compass and a bunch of unknown icons that the game didn't teach you what they mean. Honestly, I could keep going, but I think I made my point. A lot of the mechanics here are either broken or just don't make any sense, and the UI is ugly and frustrating. The last thing I want to mention is the tutorial. There isn't one. So good luck learning how literally every aspect of this game works. Good luck figuring out what all the buttons do. Good luck figuring out what you're even supposed to be doing or focused on, or what you should be thinking about doing in the future or whatever, because they're not going to teach you a damn thing. Alright, so honestly, that's about all I can think of that are big enough worth mentioning here, either good or bad. So what do I think overall? Well, I think, overall, the game has great potential to become something really fun and amazing. I love the idea. The gameplay has a great foundation as well. However, with how broken and unfinished the game is, with how disappointing some of the functions and mechanics were, and with a $30 price tag, my overall suggestion would be to just add this game to your wishlist and wait a year, maybe 6 months if they really get on it. I saw some people saying that they only released this game because players were, because the people who were supporting them privately were asking them to do it, and that's fine if they wanted to do that, but why charge $30 then if you know your game's not ready and you're only releasing it because your personal fans are begging you for it? Like, they are going to pay whatever you want for it. But everybody else, like me, who wasn't following it, I feel like paying $30 for a game this broken is unacceptable. To put it simply, guys, don't buy this game right now. It is not even remotely ready for play, and it'll only frustrate you more than help you or give you fun. I've seen shitty releases like this destroy dozens upon dozens of early release games, and I'm worried that might happen here because this game really does have something special. I really, really wanted this game to be good. I wanted to play this with my brother or maybe with my wife. We would have loved to play something like this together, but it's just not there yet. At time of release, this game is not worth a single dollar. The game has great potential to be something awesome, but just not right now. So my recommendation is to wait for it. Alright everybody? Alright, so that's all the time I got for this video. Thanks so much for watching, with a special thanks to those of you who stuck around to the end. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.